My name is James Brady and I am doing an interview on Gavin Treanor, my local sporting hero. Right, Gavin, what was your childhood like?
My childhood, James, was very different to what the typical childhood would be today. Um, Obviously, it wasn't today or yesterday, it was many years ago. So I spent my childhood mostly 99% of the time outdoors, playing, being active, running around. I was sort of very lucky where I was born and bred up Courtney Hill in Newry, because it was in the outskirts in the perimeter of the town. It was just almost in the countryside, so we were surrounded by fields, and there was plenty to do and plenty to explore. For I give you an example, there was the old quarry up behind St Mary's School. We used to go swimming there every summer, do all the jumps and dives. And then there was the old castle around just the back end of O'Neill Avenue where Hennessy Park is. We used to go and explore and make forts there. And then we were blessed with orchards and congas and all sorts down the nuns, so we can go and raid them for fun every summer. So, and apart from that, the rest of the time was playing from morning to night football. I was very lucky that the group of boys that I grew up with were all of the one age and the one interest. And right behind our house in Latview Park, we had a football pitch, albeit it was the old AstroTurf, gravel pitch. But it was fantastic, and you're out there literally from 9 o'clock in the morning until 10 at night, just playing football. So it was a very, very enjoyable and active childhood, which is the total opposite of what you get with youngsters today playing on their Xboxes and their PlayStations.
Who did you look up as a child?
I suppose that's a very, very easy question to answer, because for me, the person I looked up to more than anything wasn't because of physical stature. Growing up was my father. Growing up as a youngster, I can vividly remember 3 and 4 years of age going and watching him playing football. And even though my father, he wasn't a big man by any means, he was only about 5'7", but to a 4-year-old he was a giant. He was an absolute giant to me. But he had a giant of a personality, I have to say that. And my father was known as Sparky, and everybody knew Sparky, and he was a hell of a player. So for me, I suppose the one person that stood out more so than anybody else in my whole life was my father.
How did you get into football?
Well, my career path to football was actually very different from others, because I actually didn't start playing soccer until I was about 18, nearly 19. So my background was predominantly Gaelic football. I'm playing Gaelic football for the school. I went to the Abbey Grammar, which didn't offer soccer. So my soccer up until about 18 years of age was playing in that back park that I just spoke about. And it was a local man. He's actually chairman of Savile Football Club now. A guy called Jerry Quinn was managing a team called Dramara Village at the time. And it was after one of the Shamrock games he was watching. He asked my father, would I be interested in playing a bit of soccer? So my daddy asked me, and I said, look, I'll go and give it a go. So I went down, and I think it was about 18 was my very first soccer game, and I really, really enjoyed it. It also helped that I scored 2 in my debut, and I was playing pretty decent standard in the amateur league. And Jerry was the sort of guy that once he hooked me in, that was it. There was no excuses, and he persevered with me, and he coached me, and he taught me how to play the game, because I didn't even know what offside was, to be perfectly honest. I was able to play football to an extent, but he showed me how to play the game properly. And he fostered that love of the game, and he kept coming after me, and I played for a couple of years with him, and then I very quickly moved into the Irish League after that.
What football teams did you play for?
I played for, Dramara Village was my first proper soccer team, and then I played for Newry City, and then I played for Carrick Rangers, I played for Cliftonville, and then I played for Carrick Rangers again, and then a couple of spells with the Northern Ireland amateur team, the select team, and the Irish World Student Games team, and Northern Ireland Juniors. And then it was locally, I played a few games for Finn Harps and a few games for Cleary Celtic as well.
Did you have any doubts whenever you were playing football?
No, I didn't, James, to be honest. I had no doubts, and the reason why I didn't have doubts is because I'm a pretty confident person in no matter what I do, and I always had that sort of self-belief in myself that I was going to succeed. And I knew I wasn't the biggest, and I knew I wasn't the strongest, but I always knew that I was pretty quick, and half a chance getting in behind somebody or a one-on-one, that the ball was always going to be in my favour. So I wouldn't say that I had any doubts whatsoever. There was always pressures, absolutely pressure, and it wouldn't be normal if I didn't have pressure, and it's how you respond to that pressure. You can either cave or you can stand up and be counted. And for me, I enjoyed that battle, that inner battle with myself. So I wouldn't say that I ever doubted myself. If anything, quite the opposite. I always had a lot of belief in myself. And if somebody got the better of me, which many days guys did, then they were just a better player in the day and they got a handshake.
What injuries did you get when playing football and did it affect your football?
Well, unfortunately, James, I had one too many injury, more than the average person. When it was going well, I have to say, I was playing for Cliftonville at the time, and I was scoring goals and I was playing very well. I ended up doing damage to my right knee, which required surgery, and it actually put me out for over 2 years. It was about 2.5 years, and I was about 25 at the time, and I have to say I was playing really, really well. And when I tried to come back after that 2.5 year period, the knee just wasn't the same. I tried to get back and I had a couple of wee breakdowns. So essentially I just called it a day then. And what actually happened was I was about 29 years of age, about 4 or 5 years later, nearly 30. There was a guy that managed me at Cliftonville, a guy called Lauren Stipp, fantastic manager. Was actually number 2 in Carrick Rangers. There was a guy that played right back with me at Cliftonville, a guy called Stevie Small, who's an Irish League legend. He actually met him one day. He was doing a bit of outreach work in school, and I had a chat with him. And he says, "Would you want to come back and play?" And I was like, "No." He's come back and try it at least. So I went back and tried it, and I have to say I had a fantastic time. I lasted about 15 games. So I done well. I lasted about 15 games, and I scored I think 17 goals. I was going really, really well. And then unfortunately I'd done a lot of damage to my pubic bone. So I went to turn, we were playing Limavady, and I went to turn and I just felt it popped open. And that was the injury that finished my career. So although I played a lot of football, I played an awful lot of football, I had 2 really serious injuries, and the last one, around 30 years of age, it just finished me.
You say you're under pressure in games. How did you overcome being under pressure in games?
Well, if I played up front, and if I was marking somebody that was bigger or stronger, essentially what I had to do was try and find the weaknesses in their game. So it was almost like instant problem solving. So instead of trying to out-jump them, I was maybe making different runs, and I would try and analyse not only their performance but my own performance throughout the game, and doing a bit of self-reflection. That can be done very quickly as a footballer, and the very best footballers are very, very quick at doing this. So they basically see what they're doing wrong. They actually try and analyse their own performance instantaneously, and then it doesn't always work though, but then come up with sort of different strategies to try and outwit your opponent. So that's something that I would have constantly done. So again, it wasn't that it was a pressure thing or anything. It was just basically that it was like a game of chess. You were trying to outwit your opponent, and there was many times I would have tried 2 or 3 different things in a game. Maybe tried to bend the runs, maybe change the angles of runs, maybe dropped a little bit deeper. It didn't always work. There was times when I was actually clean in games, but you always had to try these things. But it was just in the back of my mind that this guy, he's a good player, but I'm better. And I always, coming back to that, inner belief and that self-confidence in myself, I always believed no matter who I was marking, even if the greatest Irish League defender, that I was always better.
When you retired, did you take on any other hobbies?
I actually did, and I still do some of those today. So once I retired, I get big into mountain biking, and I absolutely love mountain biking. And I don't do it for racing, I just do it on my own, just for recreational reasons. And I have to say, it's a wee bit different from team sports. And the difference is that when you are in a team, you can let others down, or others can let you down. But when you're out on the bike on your own, it's just you against the elements. And I have to, nothing beats the feeling of being out in the environment, looking at the beautiful sights and so forth. So I took up a little bit of biking, a little bit of individual sports, just like keep myself as trim as I can. When you get to my age, over the 40s, it's about watching what you eat. So I just try and keep myself in good condition as much as possible. But I suppose over the last 10 years, and especially maybe the last 5 years, the biggest pastime of mine has been watching my own son play football. So that's my main hobby now, and I have to say I get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
What advice would you give to a young person looking to pursue their footballing career?
That's a good question, James. That's a good question. I would say that we break it down to a couple of parts. First and foremost, I think that the whole element of diet and nutrition is underestimated by youngsters these days, and how important it is to eat appropriately, to eat the right portion sizes, to eat the right amount of food, to fuel their body, for the activity that they're going to do. And I think tie that in conjunction and tie that in with rest properly, because again, rest is one of the most important elements of physical fitness, and it's something that young players now, whether they're trying to play for 2 or 3 teams or trying to do all the additional training on top of their football, they don't take enough time to actually get good qualitative rest. And then tying in with that there, the last thing I would say for any youngster coming through looking to pursue, whether it's a career in sports, football or whatever it may be in life, is to try and limit their time on social media and gaming, because there's too much time actually spent, investing in that type of thing. So I'd say that they properly take rest and limit the time on social media and games. I think they'll not be too far wrong.
You've had a long and successful career in football. What would you say is your biggest achievement?
Well, without sounding corny, James, I would say that my biggest achievement is actually off the football park. And what I mean by that there is that I won the lotto in many respects, and I didn't actually win it financially, but I won it in life because I have a good job. I'm a PE teacher. I'm teaching excellent young fellas like you every single day and trying to pass on whatever knowledge I have. And I've got an absolutely wonderful family. I have a beautiful wife and 2 beautiful children. So I would say that that's my greatest success. And I know I had some individual and collective awards when I was playing football, and nothing will beat those. They were fantastic. But what I will say is that my greatest success in life and achievement is my family.
Thanks, Gavin, for allowing me this opportunity. That's it.
Thanks very much, James.